Hello happy people, my name is Dan, and in this video I'm going to be showing you my awesome game, The Game. And what I'm going to do is put this as a HTML5 browser game, but I want it to scale full screen to the window that I am going to be playing it in. So I'm going to be showing you how to do that so that it scales up appropriately and doesn't leave any horrible edges or anything where it looks a bit weird or a bit naff. As you can see, I start it now and it is just in the top left corner, so we need to adjust that. And the way we're going to adjust that is we're first going to bring up our Windows settings, not Windows settings, our game settings, and we're going to make some initial adjustments to setup. So we're going to open the settings menu and we are going to go into HTML5 and we're going to go into the graphics section. And in the graphics section, we're going to make sure allow full screen switching is turned on, interpolate colors between pixels is turned off, and keep aspect ratio under the scaling heading is turned on. We want to turn off the interpolate colors because otherwise it creates a bit of a weird blurry effect and we don't want that. What this does is effectively go and scale up the game window to fit the browser, and it's just going to be a very simple way to make sure you get full screen in your HTML5 web projects. So we're first going to create an object called O-Resolution. When we create the O-Resolution one, we're going to make sure that we set up some values in the variables in the create event. So what we're going to set up is BW for the browser width and BH for the browser height. So these are basically going to be our variables to take the browser width and height window, and we're going to use those to make sure that we set the window size and we'll also set the window position. We need to do this by setting the camera view size. So we do camera set view size and it's going to be view camera 0, and we will set that up later, but we're now just setting up the object to begin with, and that's going to be width and height BW and BH. The next thing we're going to do is camera set view pos or position, and that's also for view camera 0. Now what I'm doing here is just putting in a mathematical formula to make sure that it is centered. What I would recommend is if you take the time to pause the video and copy this across, or what I will do is in the description I will also include a link to this project so you can copy it directly. What I will also include in this is an extension, so I'll show you that towards the end of the video just to add your own full screen button. I'll explain more about that later. But in the meantime, as I say, what I'm doing at the moment is making sure with the camera set view pos, I'm ensuring that that is actually centered in the middle, regardless of the size of the window itself. So that is what I am doing here. As I say, it's quite complicated, but by all means copy it out or download the project and copy it that way. So once we've set up the camera view size and the camera view position, what we need to do next, I'm just going to full screen that so you can see it all. Again, this is in the create event of O-Resolution. The next step would be to set up the application surface. So we're going to do surface resize, and that's going to be the application surface, basically what the game is running on, and that's going to be view port, the view W port for width and view H port for height. And then what we're going to do once we've done that is we are going to center the window. So we're going to set the size of the window, which is W and BH, the browser width and browser height, and then window center. I know it does say window, but when we're running it from HTML5, that's what we're going to use. The game window means the browser window in this context. And then straight away, once we've done that, we're going to go to the next room, and we need to make sure this is set to persistent. This means that it will carry across through the entirety of your game. And the reason we need it to carry across is because we are going to run a step event. And that basically ensures that anytime the browser width or height is changed, we update what we've already done. So in the step event here, we're checking if the browser width is not equal to BW, or the browser height is not equal to BH. And if either of those values have changed, then we're going to reset it. Basically, we're going to set BW to browser width, and we're going to set BH to browser height. So we're going to take in the new values and put them in the local variables, and then we're just going to do Windows set size BWBH. and window center again. We don't need to worry about anything else we've already done in the create event, as that's all set up. So all we need to do there is readjust the window and that will carry across. So now, as you can see here, we're back in the room. This needs to be done in any room that's going to apply for the full screen scaling. We're going to reset, we're going to enable our viewports, and we're going to set the size to 640 by 480. That is the size of a room. If you're doing something where the camera moves around, just remember that that's the size that it's going to need to be. The camera size itself, that's going to be what's going to be scaled up. We're also setting up here a new room, which is O resolution, and we're setting the viewport to visible. I don't think I set it to visible in the last one, I'm just checking. No, I didn't, so I'd set that to visible as well. Make sure your viewports are set to visible. So in our resolution, again, we're going to set the viewport sizes to 640 and 480, and that will be what will be scaled up. We need to make sure our resolution is the very first room before anything else, and we're going to place our O resolution object in that room. Now, as you can see, it will scale up and it will center the window. And then as we move around, it will resize automatically. As long as that room goes first and your viewports are enabled for every room that you have in your game, this will automatically apply and automatically resize the window accordingly. Now, if you're uploading your game to itch.io, so if I press F10 there, it will go full screen and go back. If you're uploading it to itch.io, you will find it goes in what's called an iframe. Now, it will scale to the size of that iframe, but when you're going onto your dashboard, you will be able to include a full screen button. So you can see on the bottom left there, that is a full screen button that's included automatically. This is on one of my other games, Roofless Roof, available for free now. So it will automatically place it in an iframe, and you can press the full screen button and it will scale up. That is if you have this button enabled, full screen button, when you're editing your project. Now, if you're running it on your own website, then if you're taking the iframe code, the distribute code from itch.io, you will also see the full screen button in the bottom right. But there is an extra thing you can do. If you are uploading the iframe yourself and you're not including a full screen button, there is an extension called ext HTML full screen, which I will include in the description below, and we need to set up a script to ensure that this full screen button works. Now, I'm not going to go through explaining how this works because it's quite tricky. If you are just planning on uploading your game to itch.io or planning on scaling it full screen with no questions asked, this is where you can stop the video and implement it. But we're going to add a virtual button, which basically acts outside of the game window. In this case, this is a full screen button, and we're going to put in a script that will basically ensure that we have the option using that button to toggle full screen on and off. Again, like I said, this is quite a complicated one. It's SCR-HTML full screen, and I have the code already. I'm just going to copy and paste it in, and there it is. It's got various functions which relate to the extension that we've imported. Now, you will need to include this script, so if you are planning on having your own virtual button to full screen, then you will need to put that extension and that script in. And as you can see on the top right there, you have your own full screen button now, which will automatically make the browser go full screen. Now, that's all well and good, but the issue is we want that to run through an iframe, and as you can see, that is already in place. So it will still go to full screen even when you're running it on an iframe. And that's it. That's all you need to do. So as I said, if you've got the full screen scaling and you're planning on keeping it in full screen or uploading it to itch, you don't need to worry about the extension. If you want your own full screen button, link is in the description below. And I hope that's helped you guys. And if you need any further help, if you want any further tutorials, then please feel free to drop some ideas in the comments below. And until the next time, bye!